All good?
No.
Okay. You, Jared? Nothing?
I'm from Chicago, bro. Let's roll.
Oh, that's true. Sleeveless. Robo's season debut for the Dodgers. Let's get you out to D.C. Joe and EK. Take it away, guys.
All right, John, welcome to D.C. and welcome to Tuesday Night Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA. Brought to you by Arco. The middle game in this three-game series, the Dodgers and the Washington Nationals. We welcome you inside. Joe Davis, Eric Karros, Kirsten Watson joins us in a moment. The Dodgers have dropped 3 of their first 4 games on this trip, and last night a snapshot of kind of how the losses have been. Sloppy defense leading to a lot of those runs.
Yeah, it really has. And look, at the Dodgers are trying to avoid their first 3-game losing streak. They've got the right man on the mound tonight, Justin Robleski. I think he's going to go out and throw well. He'll attack this young lineup, and I think the Dodgers are going to swing the bats. Probably a bullpen game for the Nationals.
Let's go down to Kirsten.
Thanks, Joe. Well, just hitting on those errors. If you look at how the season started, those first 6 games, 0 errors. The last 6, though, however, the team has had 7 errors. So we're talking to Dave Roberts as well as some of the guys. He has said just due to the talent on this group, the errors are a little bit of disconcerting. However, they do recognize that this game can be cyclical at times, and they're looking to clean things up. With the win tonight, they do think it's going to pose a bit of a challenge, but they know they got to clean things up on the defensive side of this game, guys.
All right, Kirsten, still plenty of good things to talk about. And right at the top of the order, the most obvious one, Shohei Ohtani, a 3-hit game last night, fell a double shy of the cycle.
Yeah, really exciting to see, especially he had a 1 for 11 in Philly, but he came out last night, hits that home run, and just looked like the Shohei that we are used to seeing. If he can set the tone, get a little assistance from some of his teammates, it'll be a nice offensive night for the Dodgers.
You mentioned that it's a bullpen game for the Nationals. It's Justin Robleski coming back for the Dodgers, his first start of 2025. We've got the Dodgers and the Nats coming up on a cold night from the nation's capital on Sportsnet LA.
Touches of black.
Ages and a must for elder care. Call now and get 20 Skunky 60-second shower pads for only $9.99. But wait, order now and we'll send you 5 more absolutely free. That's 25 showers for only $9.99. There's a strict limit of 1 family pack per order at this incredibly low price. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-407-4395 or visit GetSkunky.com. That's GetSkunky.com. Order now.
About the pitching depth you guys added this winter and had just coming into the year, like going through an injury for the first time, do you just kind of feel a little bit more confident?
Yeah, we definitely feel confident.
And I don't think that anyone expected us to go unscathed all year, whether it's out of the pen or starters. So it's where we're at, but I do think that we knew that we had a lot of viable options to backfill, and we're seeing the next 2 nights.
Dodgers off to an impressive 9-3 start this season, despite having committed the second most errors in the National League. We just heard Dave Roberts talking about the pitching staff and the depth there. The Dodgers have the second best ERA in all of baseball, yet, Jerry, they've issued the most walks in the game, 57 walks in 12 games. That's playing with fire, especially at this level, something you'd like to see cleaned up.
100%. Obviously, the walks are high. You saw the numbers there. And then the Dodgers pitching staff has such elite stuff. They've been able to kind of wiggle their way out of those traffic jams. But the biggest key is that is not sustainable. You cannot live that way the rest of the season. Dodger pitchers know that and understand it. Hopefully they get that kind of rectified, because you got to be able to throw strikes, command the strike zone at this level.
Yeah, with the kind of stuff that they have, they're able to put away hitters with strikeouts using the high fastball, high velocity fastball, big breaking pitches. That does come with getting deep into counts and issuing walks. So the walks is not as concerning to me, but when you walk players and you have errors behind you, that's when the runs do compound and you end up losing some games. So right now, for me, it's about cleaning up the defense, and the pitching staff has done a great job, as you can see by the ERA. They're going to get their strikeouts. They have elite stuff.
All right, we are getting closer to first pitch in Washington, D.C. It is a cold one for Tommy Edman and the Dodgers. Nationals as well. The wind chill down to about 35 right now. We're leading you up to first pitch between the Dodgers and the Nats. But all 3 hits have been homers. Looking to do more damage tonight as he gets the start at first base with Freddie Freeman sidelined for the 8th consecutive game. Let's take a look at that Dodgers lineup to go up against a Nationals opener in this game with the same top 4s we saw yesterday with Shohei, then Mookie, Tommy Edman, Teoscar Hernandez, Michael Conforto back in the lineup in left field. Kike will bat 6th and play first. Max Muncy's at 3rd. Andy Pages back in the lineup in center field. Jerry with Austin Barnes catching Justin Robleski.
We're looking at the big show. Obviously, huge night last night. But I'm looking at the bottom of the lineup. We need these guys to get going. Andy Pages, you heard me, brother. I called you tonight. Do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we know that the top guys in the lineup have been doing their thing. They're going to continue to do their thing. You know, the middle, bottom of the order, starting with Kike, we need hits out of them. Kike's hit some big home runs for us already here, but we need more consistent at bats, putting the ball in play, and you know, just continue to turn the lineup over to Shohei. So we need those great at bats from them.
Yeah, and to your point, Shohei Ohtani led the league in RBIs last season with 130, doing most of that from the leadoff spot. Through 12 games this year, he has 4 home runs, only 5 RBIs, and a big reason, Adrian, is the 7 through 9 spots in the order, collectively hitting 143 early this season. Obviously, you would like to get those guys going because then you put more pressure on the pitchers when they have to face Shohei Ohtani at the plate.
100%. You have Shohei with runners on base. That makes the pitchers really make mistakes because they don't have anywhere to put them. And so the bottom of the lineup has to be more consistent, putting the ball in play, getting those runners on base for the top of the lineup. So that bottom of the order is very important to turn it back over.
100%. And make an adjustment. It's okay to walk up the plate with a 2-strike approach to start out. Get the ball, put the ball in play, get your hits, and then if you want to go hit the long ball, that's later when you start to really feel good.
All right, so the Dodgers dropped 2 out of 3 to start this trip in Philadelphia, Jerry, so I know what you're saying.
Must win. Have to win tonight.
Let's go. All right, Mookie Betts and the Dodgers about to come to the plates against the Nationals. First pitch is coming up right after this.
World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Arco. Quality gas for less, now with rewards. Frostbite warning at Nationals Park. 44 degrees, feels like -10. Gusting up to 28 miles per hour, and that's what the guys during batting practice were talking about, really feeling it cold, but then that wind blows, and that's when it's like, man, oh man, when is it time to get back to Los Angeles? Some details on that wind. As you get higher and higher, the wind blows harder and harder. It's funny talking to the hitters, they're like, hey, so it helps out that the wind is not at the pitches to make them do funny things, but at the same time, because the wind's coming in, it's going to knock down anything I hit well. Other than that, a great day to hit. It was cold yesterday as well. Didn't keep Shohei Ohtani from having a great day, finishing a double shy of the cycle after his 1 for 11 in Philadelphia with 5 strikeouts. Had a home run, went 3 for 4 with a walk, and looked like himself. Lineup for the Dodgers here in Game 2, presented by your Southern California helpful Honda dealers, has Ohtani leading off again, and Mookie Betts, of course, hitting second. Tommy Edman at second base, hitting third. Tasker Hernandez, then Michael Conforto back in there. Kike Hernandez bats sixth. Muncy's at third. Pages in center, and Austin Barnes does the catching and bats ninth. This is Brad Lord, and what will be a bullpen game today for Washington.
Yeah, the number 23 ranked prospect is done by Major League Pipeline. He's a right-hander. He's just drafted in 2022. A little four-seamer, sinker, change, slider. Mostly going to be that four-seamer and sinker, though. And again, as you mentioned, Joe, probably not long for the game. Just give him a few innings. Likes to throw at the top of the zone, that sinker, and again, that changeup running down and away, but just not a lot of experience.
6-4 win for the Nationals yesterday. Their third in a row after their 1-6 start. Well, the Dodgers have dropped 3 of 4 on this trip after starting the season 8-0. Ohtani climbs in, Lord comes home, and off we go. So Shohei, the 3 hits and a walk yesterday. The average back above 300, the OPS above 1,000. How do you get yourself ready for a game like this?
I mean, honestly, as a hitter, I used to go up there and I would take as many pitches as possible and just try to see, because just as hard as it is to hit, you know, it's also difficult for the pitcher to control pitches. This was one of those games where you hope to eke out a walk or two, maybe a sacrifice fly. But just not a lot of fun if you hit the ball and it's not on the barrel.
1-2 from Lord. Ohtani watches it miss away. Dodgers trying to get off to a better start. They actually have a negative run differential in the first 4 innings of games this year, and so they've trailed in 10 of their 12 games. On a 2-2, Ohtani takes outside, ball 3.
See Lord starting on the very first base side of the rubber, and everything he's thrown to Ohtani has been arm side, so away from Ohtani.
Here in his 4th major league appearance, firing a payoff and striking Ohtani out.
Changed things up a little bit. He'd been going away with all of his pitches. This one starts on the inner part of the plate, works its way a bit back over the middle, but ties up Shohei there.
For the first out of the ball game, and it brings up Mookie Betts, who had a hit and a walk yesterday and has reached 6 times the last 3 games. Betts sends a fly ball to right field. Cruz coming on, won't get there. Well, the wind might have helped Mookie Betts in that case, knocking that ball down, and he's got a base hit.
And Mookie just kind of fights this ball off. You see that running in a little bit, able to get enough of the bat on the ball. Comes off at about 75 miles an hour, but finds a lot of space.
Man aboard for Tommy Edman. 1 for 4 in the first game of this series. Yeah, with a hit in 11 of his first 12 games this year. Next one to left. Wind pushing this one down as well, but call is there. Betts back to first, 2 away.
We saw last night the Nationals take advantage of the running game. That also made it difficult. You know, you talk about this weather, also difficult to throw, you know, make the transfer. So even though you got a lefty on the mound tonight for the Dodgers, I bet you the Nats, they're going to expose that as well.
Upstairs for a ball on Hernandez. He had base runners 12 for 12. Stolen base attempts against the Dodgers. Part of that is a couple of them were dropped yesterday. Right. Betts dropped 1. Rojas dropped 1. Good lead for Betts at first, not going. 2-0.
I just feel it's so much different playing in this type of weather. There's so many things that you can take advantage of and try to expose.
one of those things. I know it's not great to run in this weather, but even difficult to throw guys out.
A pop up on the right side of the diamond. Nathaniel Lowe is there. And a scoreless top of the first inning for Brad Lord. Justin Wrobleski makes his return to the major leagues when you come back. Batting order from Dave Martinez, presented by your Southern California helpful Honda dealers, has Alex Call hitting leadoff. So it's not C.J. Abrams coming back tonight. He'll miss another game with the leg issue. James Wood went deep in yesterday's game. DHs and bats second. Then Keibert Ruiz, Lowe, Rosario, and Garcia. The young Cruz and Jacob Young finishing things up for the Nationals. So here is Wrobleski, whose first pitch is downstairs to Call. 24 years of age, got his first taste in the majors last year. Started this season in AAA and pitched really well in his first game. Took a shutout into the 6th inning in his season debut for OKC and quickly gets the call up.
Yeah, he's going to pound the strike zone. He likes to throw that four-seamer up in the zone. Little slider, curve, sweeper, a little bit of everything. Likes to work fast. But where he's going to do most of his damage, you see, it's up at the top of that zone. That's where he's going to be effective. And if he can stay up there, I think this team, being the Nationals, they're a young team. They're going to be aggressive, and that's why I think he's going to be effective this evening.
So that's the mix last year. You can expect a little bit different mix this season. Call right side and through with the leadoff hit. Dave Roberts was saying before the game, it's great to have the pitching coaches tell him stuff, do this or that, but it's even better when major league hitters tell a guy what to do. And what he learned from them was that he needed a couple other options. So he's added a sinker. You saw he threw a few of them last year, but truly adding it this year, and he's planning to throw the curveball more. Now you look at his first start in AAA, instead of being 60% fastball, 1 or 2 sinkers, it was 50-50 fastball sinker. James Wood hammers the first one he sees right into that wind. Pages watches it still get out of here to the same spot. Back-to-back nights with a home run for Wood, and this one extra impressive when you consider the gusting wind.
You take a look at what Wood did last night. You mentioned almost the same spot. Last night was a little deeper. This one had the fortune. There's that cutout. The wall comes in a little bit. If it's a few feet to the left field side, it's not going out. See, Andy gets back there, and he's right in that corner area right there. Just gets out.
Would look like he knew it. Curve for a ball on Ruiz. And so Wrobleski, 5 pitches into his season, down 2-0. Home runs are part of the problem for him last year. 8 games in the major leagues, hit a .570 ERA. It was skewed a little bit because there was one game where he really had to wear it. Gave up 10 runs against the Diamondbacks. He said that was a learning experience too that day. And really the whole thing was for a guy who began last year in Double-A. 11th round draft pick, 2021. Pop up, foul ground right side for Kike Hernandez. Now, Justin had Tommy John surgery just a couple months before he was drafted, so didn't really get going as a pro until 2 years ago. And last season, Double-A to Triple-A to the big leagues. And 2 things that had never bugged him coming up to the minors, the walks and the homers, both showed up in his big league outings last year. Ball 1 on low.
Well, again, it's a completely different animal up here. And you could talk about AAA to the big leagues, and the difference is probably never been greater as far as the level of play. Pitching, hitting up here, guys are much more disciplined. If you do make a mistake, you're not getting it back as a pitcher. And Justin found that out last year.
Punched by the bag, foul. I was talking to one executive who talked about in AAA at this point, the thing that they have to look at with prospects almost before anything else is, can they field? Because that's the only thing you can really trust that's going to transfer. That's the thing that happens sort of in a vacuum with your skill and isn't contingent on either the pitcher or the hitter.
That's interesting. That's really it's a fair assessment. You know, I mean, that is the only thing that's going to translate.
All you can at least be sure of when you bring a guy up. Check swing, 2-2 on low. 1 for 4 in yesterday's game with a run batted in. He's hit the ball really hard in his first season with the Nationals. In fact, the highest hard hit rate in the National League. But he's also got the highest strikeout rate in the National League. So this has been all or nothing so far for a guy who's usually around league average when it comes to those strikeouts. How about the Nationals as a team yesterday? They go into the game with the lowest strikeout rate in the league, and they only K'd 1 time. There's strike 3 to match yesterday's total.
Good location there, right at the knees, and Lowe giving up on that pitch, thinking it's going to go out of the zone, but it continues its ride, and strike 3.
Yeah, for Blaski and the Dodgers get 7 of those today. Everybody gets a free jumbo jack tomorrow. Former Dodger Ahmed Rosario sends a fly ball to Andy Pages. He's there, and that's the inning. Got to have James Wood's strength to get it out over there.
Shop the new Dodgers World Series Champion Gold Collection at MLBshop.com. embellished with gold accents and scripts. Get the gear that celebrates the glory of last season's journey.
Michael Conforto's got to feel like he's back home in San Francisco today. Takes ball one. He's so excited to get out of that Oracle Park weather. Top 10 in the National League in on-base plus slugging so far. Over 1,000. One of the 3 Dodgers that can claim that with Ohtani and Will Smith. He's had both qualities. Got on base yesterday with the walk to open up the 9th inning. He's also had pop. 6 of his 8 hits have gone for extra bases. Somewhat quiet with as many big names as there are on this team, but a really nice addition so far. On this 1-1 from Lord. Fouls it off, strike 2.
It really has been a nice compliment, that left-handed bat. You know, they identified him real early. It didn't wait until January or February, kind of scooped him up and saw a lot of things that they liked and felt that they could help him with. You know, one of the things early on, I was down at Camelback, and you know, he had his hands. He wasn't catching up to some balls, so he and Robert Van Scoyoc and Aaron Bates were watching tape, and he had his hands much lower years ago when he was having all kinds of success. Decided to make that adjustment, and within a week, he just started ripping the ball.
And they're encouraged by the way he finished last year. He was really hitting the ball hard down the stretch. Overall had a decent year. They're banking on the fact that he's another year removed from not just the shoulder surgery, but missing a full year. Can you imagine missing a full season, coming back and trying to be yourself?
I mean, you miss a year, you add a year of age on, and it's I mean, again, it's difficult enough to play this game when everything's going right.
Disciplined approach here. 8th pitch coming up as he's worked the count full against Lord. Conforto starting the 2nd and fouls another. 32 years of age in his 10th major league season now. First round draft pick more than a decade ago. The Mets. He's played his fair share of ball games in this park. And he's got a leadoff walk here in the 2nd.
Nice job right there. Not only the walk, but that was a 9-pitch at bat right there. Fouled off a number.
Leadoff man on. Kike Hernandez up, carrying those unsightly numbers at the plate into the game. But you went up to him at the cage today, former first baseman, and told him what?
Thought he was doing an exceptional job over there at first. I mean, defensively, you know, handling the ball the right way, the footwork, all the nuances. And a lot of times you'll throw a guy over there for a game or two and, you know, get away with it. But a handful, they start to get exposed. But just so many things that he does that, you know, looks like he's played the position for a number of years.
He said he waited back on a ball in Boston in 2021 and made an error on it, and he said never again. I'm going to be aggressive, play on my toes, and that's what it's looked like. It's looked like a guy who has been there forever. Not just the way that he moves, but the clock that he seems to have there. Ahead of Lord, 2-0. Here comes, and there's ball 3. Pitch first inning for Lord. This is going to be the 13th pitch already of the 2nd. Looking for his first out. It's a 3-0, and it's a 4-pitch walk. Dodgers have something going here. And a visit from the pitching coach, Jim Hickey. Good chance for the Dodgers right away to respond to the Nationals' 2 early runs. Trying to tie this series at a game apiece, set up a chance at a 500 trip. Here's Max Muncy. Started this season 1 for 18, but his last 5 games right at 300.
I'll tell you what would be really uncharacteristic, but I think Max has a chance to ambush Lord right here. You jump on that first pitch fastball. You know, Max has a reputation of seeing a lot of pitches, taking some things. Lord's just walked 2 guys. He's trying to get ahead. He's probably thinking, Max isn't going to swing here.
Just got a visit.
All over, yeah, just all over a first pitch fastball.
You wonder if Jim Hickey's message, though, was, hey, careful. Throw a strike, but don't. Ball 5. See if the bottom of the order can show some life here. 2 on, nobody out. Second inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two on 1. Lays off ball 3. Dodgers collectively patient approach in this inning. 2 walks and now a 3-1 count on Muncy.
If you're Max right now, you're looking for something up, out, over the plate. Lord's tried to work that arm side part of the strike zone.
Three and 2. Chases the high fastball. Lord comes back to get him.
$25 of the 32 pitches that Lord has thrown this evening, fastballs. And this one gets Max to go out of the zone a bit.
First and second, 1 away. Andy Pages gets his first at bat of this series. It's been a rocky start to the season for him, and then on Sunday misplayed that ball that led to the winning runs, and you saw him after the game, head in his hands, just despondent. Dave Roberts gave him yesterday off, said he wanted him to just have a reset. Yeah, when things are going against you, isn't it 0-2 immediately?
I was just thinking that, you know, as a former player, I'm sitting here going, man, this poor guy. Things are tough enough as it is. Can't get a break, and every at bat, not only you feel like it's 0-2, it is 0-2.
Yeah. They give you 0-2 as a door prize.
Right.
Tying run aboard in the second as the 1-2 comes home to Pages, and he shoots one right side, backhand low, go to second for 1, over to first late. He actually hangs on to it, no throw, so they're at the corners with 2 out. And up comes Barnes. Austin's looking for his first hit of the campaign at 0 for 6.
Barnes is about ready to get hot. He had a heck of a spring. Seemed like every time I was looking up, he was getting a base hit.
It's his 3rd start here. Life of a backup catcher. Hard to gain steam. Hard to get hot. Play every few days. Life that he's used to living, though. Nobody better to catch on a cold day than Barnesy.
Says Will Smith.
Yeah. Same page, Joe. Breaks his bat on a roller to second for Garcia. Spins and throws, and he's bailed out by Lowe. Oh, a little more razzle-dazzle than needed right there. Here we are. We're back in D.C. and it is cold. Oh my gosh, it's cold. Can we get one of those up here and one of those too? Strike on Luis Garcia. Swings and misses at Justin Robleski's first pitch. Now Garcia, 2 hits yesterday, scored a couple runs, off to a good start. 1 ball, 1 strike against Robleski. At his breakout season last year. 24 years old in his 6th season. Son of a former pro baseball player. His dad, Luis Sr., reached the majors with the Tigers for 2 weeks in 1999. Long enough to start 1 game and get 1 hit. He had a double in Seattle. 2-2 on his boy. Luis Jr. was born in New York a year after that. Dad retired soon after. Family moved back to the Dominican Republic. So born in New York, but grew up in the Dominican. Punches this one to Muncy. 1 out. Paul DeYoung. That's who Justin Robleski was coming up, would just attack the strike zone. But like you see so many pitchers, they get to the major leagues, they don't trust that they can live in the zone. And a lot of times, second time that they get a chance in the big leagues, it's like, okay, this time I'm going to trust myself to be myself. And that's the hope the Dodgers have for Robleski this time.
2 nice pitches right there. Goes up and in the first one, then dots low and away. I mean, that's where he's going to have to, where he'll put away guys is high in the strike zone. You know, that's the out pitch. Now, how he gets there, yeah, you've got to move it around.
Got him with the elevated breaking ball.
And when he elevated the fastball last year, even as hard as he got hit it sometimes, the league hit just 162 against it. And then the hope is adding the two-seam off it only adds to that.
You're still going to have, he's still going to live up as far as getting outs. But again, it's just like you said, Joe, you've got to add something to enable yourself to get there. You just can't throw everything up in the zone because eventually you're going to get clipped.
Loops in a curve for a strike on Cruz. Another example of this being a different world when you get to the major leagues. Dylan Cruz, one of the greatest college hitters of all time. You know how good a program LSU is, and a lot of people there said he's the single best hitter they've ever produced. He hit 380 at LSU over his 3 seasons. Had more walks than strikeouts, had an on base of 500 during his time there. He started this season 3 for 32, though. This is really the first time in his life that he's not been the best player on the field. Base hit into center. And an 0-2 pitch. Cruz singles into center field and speed aboard for the Nats.
Just kind of rolls that slider up there. Didn't have a lot of bite. Left it up in the zone.
That is a rare hit against a breaking ball for Cruz. He's now 6 for 51 in his career against breaking stuff. Came up late last season. 40 games in the big leagues, he's stolen 14 bases. You extrapolate that over a full season, that's 56 stolen bases. This guy could really move.
Yeah, no question. Super athletic. Really a baseball rat. Good baseball IQ. You know, and you mentioned the great hitting prowess that he displayed at LSU. Didn't really have a lot of time in the minor leagues. Kind of rushed him a bit. So he's really learning, you know, on the job.
23 years of age. It's another one of their young outfielders right here, and Jacob Young, who is also dealing with a slow start. Just 1 for 15, although he's not expected to really hit. He's on the team because of his excellent outfield defense. By some measures, was the most valuable defensive player in baseball last year. Running around center field. Didn't even make the opening day roster. Got called up when Victor Robles got hurt and was so good out there that they stuck with him. Opening day center fielder this year, but then Davey Martinez has given him the last 3 games off, similar to Andy Pages getting a day off yesterday. The word reset. Can that do it for you, just having a day to sit back and watch?
I mean, it sounds good in theory, but especially if you're a young guy, it's tough because you're still going to have the anxiety. You're still going to have the, oh, I got to do it. Older guy and an experienced guy, 100%. Go take a day or two because all you're doing is trying to get focused on playing again. You don't have all those other variables of, oh my goodness, I might lose my job. Oh my God, I might get sent down. That goes through the younger guys' minds.
Inside for ball 4. First walk issued by Robleski. And the Nats have had multiple base runners in both innings. Back to the top for call. Singleton scored to start the game. Average back to 500 for the year. He's doing that for a few days, and it's like, come on, Skip, you got to give me some chances. And the last few days he's gotten them. Hitting leadoff today.
It's a good trip by Barnesy here. You know, after 2 quick outs, got the bottom of the lineup up. You think, okay, it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. Get back in the dugout. You know, the frustration, he hit Cruz 0-2, gives up a base hit, and then walks the number 9 hitter that is in the lineup because of his defense. And now you've got problems. It's where you got to take a step off the mound, take a deep breath, but that's why I like to visit by Barnes.
He retired the first 2, and then he had Dylan Cruz with an 0-2 count. Cruz hits the single, then the walk follows. And now some traffic. 2-0 to call is a little high.
Ooh.
James Wood looms on deck.
It's a good pitch right there. But again, after you just walked a hitter and have gone 2-0, you're not going to get that. That got a good part of the zone there.
Loads the bases, and it's unraveled here with 2 out. Put him in a tough spot. So here he is, James Wood, 2 games in this series and 2 home runs impressively to left center field. I don't know how you can know that when it's gusting 40 miles an hour in from there. Well, he sure did. I guess you're 6'7", 240 pounds, and you hit it as consistently hard as he does. Big and strong, and he's got one of the fastest bats in baseball. So you get the strength and the power, and he's swinging that bat. The bat speed, which again you can measure these days, is elite.
Take a look at where this pitch was. And again, we talk about Wrobleski having to live up in the zone. That's not up. That's below waist right there.
That's on a tee.
And you know, you can't do that with a guy like this. You know what, though? I'd be aggressive because I get you. He's going to think, oh, he's going to try and nibble. I'd go high fastball and just challenge him. Oh, come on. That's 2 strikes. That's a big part of the zone there. Like that. I mean, it's hard enough to get a guy out, swings a bat, and you're throwing it right down the part of the plate.
Is that a strike?
Well, let's check here. I mean,
falls behind him, 2-1. Nowhere to put Wood. Cruz at third, Young at second, Call at first, and Wrobleski's 2-1, 2-2.
He's tied him up twice in there. And Wood is offered at both of the pitches and probably a bit off of the plate, but unable to get to it. Robo has found a vulnerability right there.
Against a guy who normally is pretty darn patient. Extra aggressive against Wrobleski. 3 straight foul balls down the line. Stays at 2-2.
Go back in there with that sinker.
Breaking pitch popped out of his hand. So full count on Wood with the bases loaded and 2 gone in the second. Very early in this game, but already a spot that one way or another you can circle. There they go. Here it comes. Outside to walk in a run. So 3 consecutive 2-out walks issued by Wrobleski, and it's 3-0 Washington.
He had 2 strikes on him, and he got him inside with the sinker, and then his last 3 pitches he goes slider, curveball, slider.
Ruiz. This Nationals team looking for a 4th consecutive win. A lot of excitement about some of these young players around here. Some light at the end of the tunnel of this rebuild for a team that has been at the bottom of the division every year for the last 5 years. Ruiz bangs one into center. Yeah, and they've turned this into a big inning. Throw goes to third. Wood is safe. 2-run single for Keibert Ruiz and a 5-0 lead for Washington.
It's all starting with 2 outs and nobody on.
And 2 strikes.
And 2
strikes.
0-2, yeah, 0-2 count. You gotta tip your cap to Ruiz right there. He does a nice job of getting on top of that pitch. Really up out of the zone, even inside a bit. Ruiz just kind of tries to catch it with the barrel of his bat. Gets it out in his left center.
Balling on low. And no help from Tom Hanahan, the home plate umpire. Nats fever over in that dugout. Ball and a strike. Loa strikeout victim his first time up. Late on that one, and it's 1-2.
Well, it's more the same. Man, early deficit, and more the same for the Nationals too. A fast start for this offense. It's been a trend during this 3-game winning streak. Already pitch number 50. Runner takes off, a swing and a miss, strike 3. But 5 straight 2-out base runners against Robleski. 3-run score. They've got 5 after 2.
World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Ford dealers. Check out the full lineup of stylish, powerful trucks and SUVs. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Dodgers in a 5-0 hole, about to get their second trip to the lineup here. Ohtani struck out his first time. Lord starting this bullpen game. Struck out Ohtani for his first career strikeout to start this game. Wonder if they got that ball. Got a sticker on that bad boy. We've authenticated the authentication. It did happen. Rick put a sticker on it. And he's ahead of him 0-2. Want another ball.
Shaking that shoulder a little bit. Down on strikes again. And we'll have to keep an eye on it. It's alarming seeing him crank that shoulder around, that surgically repaired shoulder. And then a less than full swing there.
They got him thinking about that inside pitch and then just flipped it outside. Ohtani just didn't have anything there. Didn't have his legs either.
Mookie Betts has the lone hit for the Dodgers, continuing his nice trip and his good season. 324. After missing the 2 games in Tokyo, you know all about him being down in weight and going through the stomach bug. Been a gratifying start for him to be able to get going as quickly as he has at the plate, dealing with everything that he dealt with. The 2-1 pitch from Lord. Top of the zone, strike 2.
And that was that was out of the zone. Called it a strike. Robo didn't get about 3 that were in the zone.
Lifted to right and caught by Cruz. So here's Tommy Edman.
I mean, this is, I shouldn't be harping on it, but I'm going to harp on it. That pitch is 4 balls outside, and he's calling that a strike. Maybe if you throw it off the plate, it's a strike.
Backwards day.
Jeez.
Florida boy and Brad Lord handling this cold just fine. 3 Ks over 2 2/3 shutout innings. And he's got another here. Bookend Ks against the top of the Dodger lineup. Two in the first, 3 in the second for the Nationals. On to the third we go. Justin Wrobleski has 3 strikeouts so far. Needs 7 for Jumbo Jacks. 4 away. Ahmed Rosario leads off this inning and takes high. Rosario was a Dodger a couple of years ago. Came over at the deadline and then actually made a stop back with the Dodgers last year. Came over for 1 week. Traded from Tampa Bay at the deadline. And then finished the season with Cincinnati. Pops out here for the first out of the third. Here's Luis Garcia. We talked about Garcia's breakout season last year. 2 big changes he made. One of them was at the plate where he said he stopped trying to pull everything. And then overall, we mentioned this a little bit yesterday, but they felt like in his level of focus, got much more consistent. Grounds out to Hernandez here. He says that that comes from having played winter ball in the Dominican Republic for the first time, because he said over there, if you better be locked in or the fans are going to be on you right away. And so he took the lessons that he learned from that and applied it here. Manager Davey Martinez has been hard on him, has harped on those things through the years. And finally clicked in with a little help from the fans in the Dominican Winter League. Strike on DeYoung.
A little different too for those guys. They're playing in front of their friends and family when they go back and play in that Winter League, and there's a little different sense of pride. And we just had a big windstorm here.
It's all right.
Windstorm down on the field as he gets DeYoung a 1-2-3 inning.
Appreciate that, because I can't see a thing.
The first 40,000 fans in attendance on April 15th receive a Jackie Robinson replica 1955 home jersey celebrating the 70th anniversary of the World Championship presented by UCLA Health. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Middle of the Dodger order against Brad Lord here in the 4th inning. Down 5-0. Teoscar Hernandez popped out his first time, takes a strike, and it's 1-1. So Lord, who they were thinking couple innings from, has taken this game into the 4th. Here in his first career Major League start. Gets it by Hernandez, 1-2.
Well, obviously he's been pitch efficient, but more importantly, the offense has really helped him out. 5-run cushion, not throwing with all that anxiety.
Ground ball sneaks under DeYoung and into center field.
All right, that may be the start, boys.
You know, the Dodgers were having the mistakes on defense yesterday. The Nationals had a couple defensive plays that saved runs. You had a diving catch that Alex Call made on Muncy's line drive. Ohtani homered a few batters after that, and then there was DeYoung making a diving play on Rojas. Ohtani tripled right after that. 2 unearned runs because of Dodger errors, but then 2-run save because the Nationals plays could have had that score flipped around. That's going to do it for Lord. Dave Martinez starts the bullpen working, and that door will be swinging open all night.
World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. There's so much free food on the new Jack app, your wallet's going to miss you. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Good work by Lord today in his 4th Major League game. His first start, hands it off to the bullpen, and Colin Poche, who 2 years ago led the majors with 12 wins in relief for the Tampa Bay Rays. He went 12-3 with a 223. But then last year, showing how circumstantial wins and losses can be for a pitcher, he was 1-2 with a 386. So part of that was he wasn't as good when you look at the ERA, but that doesn't account for all of that. It's Conforto to pop this one up. It's a souvenir, and it's 1-1. Walks have been a big issue since coming to the Nationals. He's faced 15 batters this year. Walked 7 of them. And 7 runs have scored out of those 15 batters that he's faced. Ball 2 on Conforto. He's already walked once today.
Yeah, come in to face Conforto. Conforto's struggled a little bit against the lefties. It's been a small sample size, but 1 for 11 this year with 3 strikeouts.
You know what's interesting is last year he had the highest slugging of any left-handed hitter against left-handed pitching in the league. Average is more your measure that you like to look at. He hit 285 against lefties. That was the highest clip of his career. This 2-2 from Poche. Fouls it back. We'll do it again.
I mean, if you're trying to teach a swing and you watch a big league hitter, who is the guy that just does everything perfect? And this is the guy. I mean, the stance is set up well, balanced, the hands, everything is just textbook.
Strike 3 called for Poche.
Tough pitch. This is on the outer part of the plate. Just clips the upper edge. Conforto, wasn't sure of that.
One on, one out. Kike Hernandez. Some of the guys around the cage today were comparing war stories on coldest games they've played in, and Kike said, "Hey, let's remember I played a few seasons in Boston. I've got you all beat. I've got months worth of them."
I mean, when you play in those cold weather cities, you're really just trying to survive that first month, especially offensively, just trying not to ruin your season. Just be content with hitting singles. Wait until the weather warms up.
To Hernandez in there for a strike. 2-2. Nationals got 2 runs in the first inning. They got 3 runs in the second. Yorbleski with his first clean inning, going 1-2-3 in the third. Hernandez down on strikes, and we're down to Kirsten Watson.
Yeah, Joe, well, what the guys were saying as well, of course, yes, it's very cold out here, but the wind is playing a different bit of a factor than they expected. They noticed that when they were hitting off of velocity earlier during batting practice, they found that the ball was moving. So there's a little bit more movement than just normal, especially coming out of the pitcher's hand. And then, of course, you'll see a little bit of movement in the outfield, but they don't think that's going to be as much of as an effect compared to coming out of the pitcher's hand, guys.
All right, Kirsten. Muncie's up there with 2 out, pulls his hands in and takes a ball. He's one of those guys talking about the way the ball kind of dances around thanks to the wind.
I'm going to make an executive comment from high up here in the booth.
Okay.
When it's cold, that supersedes everything. I don't care about movement. I don't care about the ball, the wind, the whatever. When it's cold, it is just zero fun to hit.
Whether it moves or not.
Oh, no, it's just like, because again, unless you square it up, your hands are going to be ringing. And then again, just to have to make an explosive movement all of a sudden, in cold weather, it's not meant for playing in these kind of conditions.
There are a lot of comments too, like, man, just another reason to love LA.
Right?
Another reminder
Seriously.
how good we've got it. Count is full on Muncy.
I mean, the big worry is it might be a little foggy and might rain once in a while. I mean,
hadn't had a rain out, and
no, we had one last year. Trust me, Oral didn't do that game, and so I said, yeah, I'll do it. 2-hour rain delay at home.
Muncy hits this ball hard down the line. The wind pushing it foul, and he knew as soon as that ball left his bat. I don't know how much it was hooking off his bat, how much the wind pushed it, but he knew that it wasn't going to be fair. Likes it, nope. Another 3-2, and he got him looking. Well, the Dodgers have had base runners in 3 of the 4 innings, but have gone 0 for 8 with men on.
Celebrate our teachers April 12th at Dodger Stadium. Purchase a special ticket pack for an exclusive Teacher Appreciation Night crewneck sweater. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Dylan Cruz watches a first pitch curve from Robleski, who tries to build off his first clean inning of the game. The key at bat of this game was Cruz in the second. After Robleski had retired the first 2, he had Cruz in an 0-2 hole. Cruz singled on that 0-2 pitch, starting a string of 5 straight 2-out base runners, and 3 runs came in.
Yeah, really a tough spot. You're at the bottom of the lineup, and even after giving up the 0-2 hit, got the number 9 hitter up, ends up walking him, turning the lineup over. A stretch of 3 consecutive base on balls.
Another base hit on a breaking ball. Cruz came into the game with 4 hits against breaking balls in his major league career. 2 for 2 against him against Robleski today.
Very handsy right there with 2 strikes, not trying to do too much, letting the ball travel, gets a breaking ball up and really fires those hands.
Now it's the 9-hitter Young. 1 for 15 this year. Lays down a bunt, but it's foul. And out of the 9 spot, drew a walk as part of that rally last inning. Elite defense, very little offense, though. Spent a lot of his time this winter working on his swing. The hitting coaches said, mechanically, at least when he showed up, it was unrecognizable. You hear that about a lot of guys who are coming off bad seasons, but can it translate to the real thing? So far, it hasn't for Young. A bunt, very much part of his game. Cruz runs and he slaps it foul. Strike 2. Runs again, got a good jump. No throw from Barnes and a stolen base for Cruz. Another 1-2. Another base hit. Cruz stopped at third. With nobody out, they're at the corners. And again, it's the bottom of the order getting it done against Robleski. Cruz and Young combined 3 for 3 with a walk.
Talk about him wanting to work up in the zone. That again, it's just the middle part of the zone, not up high enough to get it by Young. Kind of a dead zone there for Robleski.
Top of the order, and Alex Call has reached both times. The top and the bottom of the order. Top 2, bottom 2. Perfect today. Call's walked and singled and scored both times.
See, and this is a good pitch. I mean, this is easily top part of the zone. I mean, it's not even really on an edge. He is not getting that at all. He's been squeezed tonight. Look, he's had some bad location as well, but there's no question he's had at least three very easy strikes that he wasn't given.
Shot to right field. It'll be plenty deep enough to get Cruz in from third as Hernandez makes the catch. Throw goes into second, and Young is in there safely. 6-0 Nats. So up comes James Wood, who has homered in both games in this series.
Gone to basically the same spot, that deep left center. You mentioned the night earlier, Joe, wind blowing, and he was still able to muscle it out.
Flies this ball to right center field. That one's headed for the seats and gone. Second home run of the game. This time he turns on a ball, and it's his third in 2 days in this series. Wow.
Two of those 3 home runs coming on the first pitch. It's just a breaking ball out over the plate. He does not miss. You know, they had some success against him earlier with that sinker in, tying him up, but decided to go with that breaking ball here. Wood historically just has not hit that inside fastball well. but able to fight off enough and tempting those guys to go away, and he deposits it.
Keibert Ruiz now 1 ball 1 strike. The other thing he's not done, and we've talked about this, is pull the ball with authority. He's hitting all the home runs that he's hitting by going the other way. And the thought is let him do that. That's his natural swing. And you talked about this the other day, but that you'll grow into the pull side power. It shows that he's plenty of ability to do that too right there. One, two. Tapper back to Robleski. 2 out.
I mean, just you look at James Wooden, obviously the talent and the athleticism, and the only thing that he's lacking is experience. He's just going to get better and better. As you mentioned, Joe, the hit tool is ridiculous.
Roller to short, scooped up by Betts. Lowe retired. The inning is over. It's the 12th home run of his career. It's only the 2nd that he's pulled. World champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. 50 years ago today, Frank Robinson became the first African-American major league manager, and he did it as a player manager, not just on this date, but for 2 years in Cleveland. He was the player manager. Went on to manage for 16 seasons, including the first 2 here in Washington. The Nationals moving from Montreal, where he had been the skipper. Dave Roberts had a close relationship with him as the years went on. Dave was a player on the other side when Frank was managing. And then when Doc got the Dodger job, they became friends. Frank had moved to Los Angeles. Andy Pages takes upstairs in ball 1 from Ribalta. Frank would come to a couple games a year. He'd bring his family with him. They'd talk on the phone often. I asked Dave about him today, and he said, you know what? I had heard this reputation, what a killer he had been as a player. And it was hard to believe when I knew him, Dave said, because he was such a sweetheart. He was such a great friend and mentor to Dave. Dave only has a few pictures in his office. One of them is Doc, Dusty Baker, Frank Robinson together.
It's going to be 3 Hall of Famers.
Ribalta to Pages for the 1-2. Pop straight back in on a play. In a similar way that Jackie Robinson paved the way for African-American ball players to the major leagues. Dave has talked before about what Frank meant for him in that regard. being the first black manager. Pages turns on this ball, sends it to deep left center field. Did he get enough into the wind? He did. It's gone. Andy Pages, his first home run of the season, and the Dodgers on the board here in the 5th.
Young man can finally exhale. Gets that off speed over the middle part of the plate, and as you mentioned, just goes right into the wind and able to drive it out of the park. I mean, so you just feel so good for him. Just, I mean, that poor guy, he's every night, yeah, right? Seriously. I mean, you go back to your hotel room and you're just staring at the ceiling, looking at it, just going like, you got to be kidding me. Like, how did I get myself into this? Tonight, maybe he can close his eyes and get some sleep.
One ball and 2 strikes on Austin Barnes. Announcers have their signature calls, signature things they say. Vinhead, pull up a chair. Yours is, you lay in your bed and you stare at the ceiling, wondering why I play this game. Am I ever going to get another hit? Barnes down swinging. 1 gone in the 5th. Back to the top in Ohtani. Happy to have Lord out of there. First 2 strikeouts, or first strikeout of Lord's career was of Ohtani. Got him again the second time. It's been a seesaw of a road trip for Shohei with a 1 of 11 in Philadelphia, finishing a double shy of the cycle last night. 0 for 2 with 2 Ks tonight. Speaking of Frank Robinson, you may have heard his name tied to Shohei recently. He's the first guy and the only guy other than Frank to win the MVP in both leagues. Frank did it in Cincinnati 1961 and then in Baltimore in 1966, and actually had a season in LA late in his career.
Shohei still looking to get on track tonight. He's got the longest active on base streak in all of baseball right now, 27 games.
Back to mid-September of last year. Garcia gets there and gets Ohtani. Nice play by Luis Garcia for the second out of the 5th. This will be our Allstate Good Hands replay.
Yeah, we saw Garcia make an easy play look a lot more difficult. That one right there made a difficult play look easy. Does a nice job, gets there, able to make the throw. Ohtani hustling down there.
Takes a hit away from Shohei. 2 gone in the 5th for Mookie Betts, and ball 1 for Omri Balta. Betts 1 for 2 with a single. And a walk for Betts, who's on again twice. It's now 8 times the last 4 games that Mookie Betts has been on base. That's the best way to do it on a night like this, huh? Standing like a house by the side of the road. And it brings up Tommy Edman. From the 5th inning on is where the Dodgers have been the best team in baseball this year. minus 11 the first 4 innings of games in run differential. 5th inning on, though, outscoring opponents 39 and now 40. The home run from Pages to 15. Two and 0. And a visit from Hickey. A run on 3 hits for the Dodgers, 8 runs on 7 hits for the Nationals. Top of the 5th inning here, the middle game of this 3-game series. The Nats took the first one yesterday 6-4. There's one more coming tomorrow. A little earlier start time, 4 o'clock getaway day time. Jake Irvin going to take the ball for the Nationals. Dodgers officially still TBD. Apparently it's now official. We can let the cat out of the bag. It's Landon Knack. Breaking news during the mound visit. After the visit, a strike on Edman, 2-1. Worked out good. He was up here for the White House visit and stayed in town. Stayed right in the Oval Office for a couple nights. Edman drives this ball to center field. Young's going back to the edge of the track. He's there. Dodgers get on the board. Andy Pages with his first long ball of the season. Halfway home in D.C. World champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Shakey's Pizza Parlor. Serving up handcrafted pizza, crispy fried chicken, and famous Mojo potatoes for 70 years. Miguel Rojas has checked in for Mookie Betts. Dave Roberts getting him into the relative comfort near the heaters. Rosario slaps onto right field for Tasker. Hernandez takes off on him. And Rosario's into second to start this inning with a double. Not pretty. So the leadoff man on. Up comes Luis Garcia. Swing and a miss, and down to Kirsten.
Thanks, Joe. Well, just a couple of updates on some guys. So first, Blake Snell, who was placed on the IL with left shoulder inflammation. He shared yesterday that he had an MRI and it showed inflammation on both sides. It's something he's been dealing with for about 3 weeks now, but he was hoping that he was going to be able just to play through it, but ultimately he was throwing a bullpen in Philadelphia, and it felt like it was time to talk to the coaches and ultimately going on to the IL. Now, yesterday, Dr. Neil ElAttrache was with the team, and they sat down. They did say that he's not going to need any treatment or injection with it, so Dave Roberts did say today that they feel like that is best case scenario. So they're shutting him down until Monday, but he's hoping he's only going to be down for a few weeks. Of course, that meant Justin Wrobleski got the start today. Landon Knack is going to have the start tomorrow, but Dave Roberts did say that they were still going to decide who could continue to fill in for Blake Snell until he's returning from the IL, guys.
All right, great stuff, Kirsten. Paul DeJong at the plate with the infield pulled in an 8-1 game. DeJong yanks it foul. Dodgers added aggressively this offseason, especially to the pitching, and already tapping into some of the depth that they created. And seeing some of that depth, getting Wrobleski and Knack to start these 2 games. Guys that in a lot of rotations would have a chance right from the start. But Dodgers didn't want to wind up in a postseason again where it was Yamamoto and Flaherty and trying to piece it together beyond that. 2-2.
Well, remember, too, they had to go out and acquire Flaherty. This year, at least, they feel that they're not going to be pressed into a situation where they have to go out and do something at the deadline, assuming that the amount of depth that they do have is sufficient. I mean, we talk about Knack and Wrobleski. Remember, Bobby Miller's still down there, too.
And the other guys that are still working back from injuries: Kershaw, Emmett Sheehan, Ohtani,
Gonsolin.
Shallow center field. Pages is way out there. Comes on, makes the catch. Kershaw was here yesterday through a bullpen. And he said it's a weird thing where the arm feels great, but he's still waiting for that toe to feel 100%, coming back from that foot surgery, at the foot surgery and the knee surgery. He said just that last little bit of kick on his pitches, last little bit of velocity. His ability to finish the delivery, not quite there. Just contingent on that toe healing. 2 out for Cruz. Strike 1. Cruz, who came into the game 3 for 32 on the year, 2 for 2, pair of singles and scored runs after each. Climbs the ladder after that one. Fly ball right field. Teoscar Hernandez. That'll do it for the Nationals in the 5th.
Come celebrate Korean Heritage Night, April 16th. Purchase a special ticket pack for an exclusive Heritage Night jersey presented by Jinro. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
It's Teoscar Hernandez to open the 6th inning for LA. Orlando Ribalta stays on, pours in a strike. Teoscar with a base hit in both games so far. And now facing the 6'7" righty out of Cuba. In on him, but that felt good. Rolled to short, and a nice play by DeYoung. Bee stings.
Hands are hurting, and then you got to run like heck down to first. That ball just kept bearing in.
See his face?
Yeah. Just
Oh,
like
this.
Geez.
The Dodgers being on the East Coast, getting things going earlier than the other National League West teams. Everybody else back west. Padres now in first place, 9-2. Behind Fernando Tatis Jr. is hitting .381 with more walks than strikeouts. Ball and a strike on Conforto. Giants lost last night 2-0. Hunter Green, 8 2/3 scoreless innings, is throwing 100 in the 9th.
Yeah, the LA native from Notre Dame High School. I mean, he might have had the best pitching performance of the year so far. You mentioned, you know, still throwing that hard into the 9th inning. Tito Francona, the manager, said if he was managing with his heart, he would have let him go all 9, but he was at 104, 105 pitches.
Diamondbacks, who started this season on fire, have dropped 3 in a row in 4 of their last 5. Starting pitching has been a problem for Arizona. Taking on the Orioles. Got Merrill Kelly going against Charlie Morton. A couple veterans. Conforto tries to lay off and does, and the count is full. Phillies lead the Braves right now 4-3. The Braves are in danger of falling to 1-9. Back to Ribalta. 2 out. How about the Angels at 6-3?
Not sure I saw that coming.
No. And they lead the Rays currently 2-0 at the Trop. Nope, not at the Trop. At George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. I've wired myself to not say Tampa because it's not in Tampa, but now it is. Kike Hernandez walking a strikeout.
Ribalta just really running that sinker in on the right-handed hitters. It's almost one of those things that as a hitter you're thinking, man, if I don't hit this, it might hit me. It's almost self-preservation.
Spins it away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Under the legs of Rosario. E5.
Ball was hit hard. I mean, he just didn't even get down. 104 miles an hour off the bat.
So now it's Muncy. One ball and one strike.
Dodgers tonight with runners on base. 0 for 9. Still looking for their first base hit.
Muncy down on strikes for the third time today. Middle 6 all Nationals. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Introducing Carl's Jr.'s new Triple Burgers. Next time, tell them to triple it. A couple defensive changes for you. Chris Taylor into the game in center field. Andy Pages has moved over to right, and so Tasker Hernandez comes out. He can put Taylor into his spot in the order, which is 4th. And here's one of the stars of the early season for the Dodgers. Out of the bullpen, Ben Kasparius. 7 innings, no runs.
Yeah, he's really been exceptional so far for the Dodgers this year. Really answered the call in any situation. And unfortunately, have to use him in a game that, you know, obviously doesn't look favorable. 7 runs down.
Jacob Young, the 9-hitter, leads off. He's reached and scored both times. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Kasparius showed up this year with his arm slot a little bit higher. Fastball a little bit harder, but not just harder, it's moving more. He's added a cutter, and with that higher slot, that's made that a great pitch. Connor McGinnis is saying the thing about the cutter that people don't talk about is how that's protected his sweeper. 2 pitches that look a lot alike but are different enough where getting some bad swings. Into foul ground goes Kike Hernandez. Over the shoulder, can't get it.
And just kind of an odd space over there where you've got that area that kind of just jets out over. Right beyond that, nothing. Just not familiar with it.
Got a piece, stayed alive. Ben Kasperius, a career starter. He hadn't done any relieving until late last season when he came up with the Dodgers. He's a routine-oriented guy, so fundamentally it was an adjustment, just having to find out right before he was going to pitch that was going to be the case. We used to have very strict minute-to-minute pre-start routine. He said the biggest thing with being a reliever has been having to get used to being uncomfortable. Good thing to have put to work on a night like this. To right, Pages, nice play. Got that mask over the hat to make sure it didn't fly off there as he came in with the wind gusting.
Well, nice job by Andy too. You're also battling, believe it or not, the lights. They get in the way sometimes, and the ball, I should say, the ball gets right in the stadium light sights, and sometimes you can lose a ball. Andy does a good job of sticking with it.
Top of the order, Alex Call. In the air to center field. Chris Taylor, 2 out. What about this series so far for James Wood? 2 games, 3 home runs, and here are those pitch locations on StatCast. It's a good hitter. Can't afford to put him right there.
No, I mean, all 3 ended up in the seats, but look where they start. They all start right down the middle part of the plate. And we talked about it. He's been getting tied up inside. The Dodgers went there a couple times with Wroblewski, threw some sinkers in there and tied him up, but just haven't been able to attack him in that zone. And you mentioned earlier, Joe, I mean, the guy doesn't like to pull the ball. That was only his 2nd home run that he's pulled. You know, look at it. If you can pound fastballs in and he takes you out to left field, God bless him.
And this 2-0 from Kasperius takes it away for ball 3. James Wood, a name Nationals fans hope you're hearing for a long time. He's only 22 years old. Just got here around midseason last year. Came with so much hype and has fulfilled it so far. If it happened to not tune in last night, this is a guy that came over in the Juan Soto trade. One of many, one of 6 players that came to the Nationals in that deal. None bigger, figuratively or literally, than this guy. The payoff. Big chopper. Rojas. And there's the speed. So he's been on all 4 times, 2 home runs, a walk, and now a single.
He ends up at first base, but still, I mean, just tied him up. Went with a fastball, inner part of the plate, couldn't extend his hands, just beats it into the ground.
So the inning stays alive for Keibert Ruiz, who's knocked in a pair tonight. He serves this one into center in front of Taylor for a hit. Ruiz has brought it against his old team. Last 8 games against LA, 4 home runs, 11 knocked in. 2 more hits tonight. And now Lowe trying to get involved in the fun. '29-year-old in his 7th season. Legit resume that he brings over from Texas. Silver Slugger, Gold Glove, and a World Series ring a couple years ago. That Gold Glove, that's for a guy who early on in his career graded out as one of the worst in baseball. Said some of his inspiration was looking at Freddie Freeman, who had gone from not being great early in his career to, in his 9th year, winning his first Gold Glove.
We always go back to great hitter Tony Gwynn, but when he first came up with the Padres as a right fielder, was not good at all. And just work and work and work and repetition, and made himself into a Gold Glove winner.
Kasparius home with another 1-2. A check swing. He offered. Strike 3. Out of the scoreless inning for Kasparius. 8 of them this season.
Friday on the next Backstage Dodgers. The team heads to Tokyo to open the 2025 season. Blake Snell, Tanner Scott, and Anthony Banda get a taste of Japanese lifestyle, and Clayton Kershaw gets a lesson in sumo wrestling. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers Friday after the postgame show.
All Nationals in this game. 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the fourth. The Dodgers' own run came on an Andy Pages home run, and look who it is to lead off this top of the 7th. First home run of the year for Andy. Led off the 5th inning with it after the day off yesterday. And a couple natives of Cuba head-to-head right here. Ribalta to Pages. Here's the home run. Something good. He's saying thank the Lord for something good. Coming out hacking.
James in that spot again, though, huh? We keep talking about 0-2. I mean, even that home run he hit, he was a 1-2 count.
Got him right where he wants him. Rides up and got a piece of the bat. Stays at a ball and 2 strikes. How about this? In 1/3 of his plate appearances this year, he's found himself 0-2.
I mean, that's crazy when you think of that. That is just an inordinate amount of times.
He's battled back here to even it at 2. The 8 pitch misses high. The count goes full. He's seen more pitches than any player in the National League. Normally that's a good sign of good things to come. They also tend to get more strikeouts that way, but certainly can expect more success than he's had in the outcomes. Barnes and Ohtani to follow in this 7th. 3-2 from Ribalta. Bouncing ball along third. Running throw, not in time, and an infield hit. Second hit of the game for Andy Pages. 2 of the 4 for the team.
Much like the hit James Wood got, just kind of beat it into the ground. Don't hit it hard enough, and Pages hustling all the way down. Multi-hit evening for the young man.
Austin Barnes, the man they call Sam. Chase Utley gave him the nickname. When Chase got to the Dodgers, he sent out Barnes, who was a young kid at that point, to go get coffee for the clubhouse on a cold morning in San Francisco, and Austin comes back with it. And A.J. Ellis gives Chase a hard time. He said, come on. Oh, my gosh, he drops the ball. And now, he didn't do that on purpose, I don't think, but it's going to work out for him in the form of a double play. But anyways, A.J. Ellis says to Chase, you don't even know this kid's name, and you're going to send him out for coffee like that? Why don't you learn the guy's name first? And he said, I know his name. Okay, what is it? It's Sam. He was forever Sam. What do you think? Did he intentionally drop that?
I don't think he did. No, he just absolutely clanked it. Looking at first already.
I'm not sure what the discussion would be about.
Well,
it's funky looking, but clean.
Yeah, it was clean. I don't know that they agree that it was clean, or they didn't really see it. Now they're getting together and they're like, did anybody see him intentionally drop that?
Dude, the only problem would be is if he caught it and then released it.
Yeah, but when we saw that other replay, he never had it. Never had it. It's like he starts looking. Never had it. Well, look at that.
How in the world
I honestly don't think that they saw it cleanly, the umpires. I don't think anybody saw it clean. And then they're just assuming that.
So they're going to say it was caught?
They're going to say it was caught and that he purposely dropped it. Because obviously, if anybody saw it, they would.
So then what about the fact that Pages left the base?
Well, they're going to say that they purposely did it, so you can't. So you're going to go back to first. You can't intentionally drop it. Yeah.
And Dave Martinez has some pretty decent reasoning here to be upset. And you cannot review catch, no catch on the infield. So Dave can't even say, hey, let's get this right on replay. This is all the umpires.
Yeah, see, you know, Davey's just saying it. You know, you fouled it up. You fouled it up. And he's saying that's enough. That's enough. In those situations, you know, as a former player, you just hope that, you know, the umpire would just say, this is what I saw, Davey.
After the crew consultation, we determined that the fielder intentionally dropped the ball. Therefore, the batter is out and the runner will be placed at first base.
Dodgers caught a break there. I mean, it's clear. You just look at, he's looking the other way. He's not even. He's already looking at first before he even has the ball. Umpires just missed that one.
All right, so Pages gets to remain on base, and Barnes retired. Ohtani coming up. Giving Herbalta a chance to do a warm-up throw or two. After that mini delay, Shohei's 0 for 3 after the 3 for 4 game last night. Well, a cold nothing new for the native of Oshu, Japan, where it snows for a lot of the year, and they have to play with colored baseballs for a chunk of their season up there. Just to be able to find it in the snow. Swats one to left. On comes Call. He's got it. Miguel Rojas, his first trip up there. He replaced Mookie Betts defensively a couple innings ago, and the batting order reaches the 2 spot for the first time since. Some new shoes today. He's always got new shoes. A collector. Sneakerhead. UCLA guy gotta like those kicks, huh?
I mean, not bad. A little. I don't think the yellow and blue. I mean, it's
a little too dark blue to be UCLA.
Look at that. Well, I think it's that Nike swoosh that kind of messes things up. It's like a lime green.
Is it?
It's not blue or yellow.
Rojas with a base hit to left.
Hitting shoes. That's what they are.
No matter what color. You got Pages at second with gray shoes. And then over at first, all the colors. Two on, 2 out in the 7th. Hunter Fiducia to pinch hit for Tommy Edman. Made his season debut last night. Got robbed of a base hit. Good diving play by Garcia at second. Change for a strike. Same pitch. We're going to see Barnesy at second.
Trying to do the math here, but
I guess
sure looks that
Kike could
way.
go to second. Fiducia could play first. I don't know, but the
we'll see.
suspense is killing me. Cliffhanger.
.38 degrees, feels like temperature down at 31. That's going to dip down into the 20s overnight here in D.C. Bouncing ball, first pitch of the inning. Over to short. Rojas gets Rosario. It's 8-1 Nationals. So we have the answer to the question that gripped us all. Kike Hernandez has moved to second, and Hunter Fiducia found a first baseman's glove. He had to dig 8 years back to find that glove. 2 games of first base in collegiate summer ball, 2017. It's probably somebody else's glove. The Rockford Rivets? R-I-V-E-T-S?
What league was that?
Northwoods League.
Northwoods, okay. I got you.
Ah, it works. Garcia's out. Rivet as in a fastener, like a little tool piece you'd get at, Ace Hardware or whatever. It's an interesting name for a
There's
team.
probably a factory up there, right? Makes rivets. Where was that? In Wisconsin? Is that what you said?
Rockford, Illinois.
Oh, Rockford, Illinois.
A nod to Rockford's manufacturing history.
See, take that.
Yeah. Oh, 2 to DeYoung. You got the Rockford Rivets. You got the Lansing Lug Nuts. What's your favorite minor league team name? You got?
Honestly?
Yeah.
The Yard Goats.
Any reason?
Yard Goats, just like that name.
No rooting interest. It is a good name, though. There are a lot of good ones out there. I'm partial to my Biscuits.
Yeah, okay. Montgomery, right?
Mm-hmm. Mascot's a biscuit with eyes, a slab of butter for a tongue.
So good. Talk about biscuits. Dinner the other night, huh?
It's good biscuits in Philly, folks.
Oh, my goodness.
Jackson Rutledge getting ready for the 8th. Another 1-2 to DeYoung, and he paints the outside corner for strike 3. Another scoreless inning for Ben Kasparius. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, celebrating 20 years of good times. Jackson Rutledge on to pitch. .324 ERA over his first 3 games with the Nationals. Made his debut last season. And he's got a new catcher, Riley Adams, behind the plate now for the Nats. Chris Taylor leads off. Rutledge, another big guy. They go from 6'7" Ribalta to 6'8" Jackson Rutledge. 26 years of age from Fenton, Missouri. First round pick 6 years ago. Got a fastball by Taylor, 1-2. Rutledge, former Razorback, University of Arkansas, a good baseball program there. Taylor's down on strikes, 1 away. Actually went from Arkansas to San Jacinto Junior College, then to the University of Kentucky. He was ahead of his time, dancing around that transfer portal.
Right. San Jacinto in Texas, it's a lot of guys who go there. That kind of was a feeder for actually pro ball and top D1 schools.
Conforto. It's a changeup that has been the key to Rutledge finally getting to the big leagues.
Conforto's down swinging. It's going to be Jake Irvin that they'll face off with tomorrow. Irvin has a 5.40 ERA over his first 2 starts this year. His 3rd season in the big leagues. And Landon Knack, season debut for the Dodgers. Two gone in the 8th, and Kike Hernandez takes outside, ball 1. $24,000 attendance tonight. There's 24,000 tough baseball fans. Allegedly. I said season debut for Knack. He pitched in Tokyo. So first start for Knack. High drive to deep left field. It is gone. Hernandez now has 4 hits, and they've all found the seats.
Ran a sinker in. Look good.
He's got a Kike jersey.
So good.
Good for him. Good aim, Kike. Muncy muscles this ball to right and came up 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. I can promise you this has not been a bit of fun for Max tonight. He's able to fight that ball off and get a base hit.
Dodgers scored 18 runs on this road trip, 12 of them via the home run.
Home runs, the biggest reason the offense still has been relatively productive, better than 5 runs per game. Issue the last couple days has been the pitching. 22 runs allowed the last 3 games. On Pages. The best of the bunch today. Home run and then single. First multi-hit game this year for Andy Pages. First home run, first multi-hit game. He's had some good looking swings.
Yeah, he really has. Again, it's one of the things when you find yourself in a rut, given days off, things aren't going well. You've got to try to eliminate that mentally, and it's just one pitch. And it's easy to say, but so difficult to do.
Well, they had been talking about him kind of falling in love with the opposite field, where he'd gotten to the point where he was trying to be too perfect and was guiding the ball over there, and they wanted him to get back to swinging hard, cutting it loose. It's looked a little more like that tonight.
I mean, it's called hitting. You're not up there trying to, as you mentioned, guide the ball. You're trying to hit the darn thing. Swing it.
Good sign that his home run came to the pole field. Actually, had only pulled out of the 20 balls that he put in play this year, he had only pulled 3 of them prior to tonight.
You know, that's that old line. You know, get the bat head out there, and I'm all for letting the ball travel, and you know you want to drive the ball the other way, but
takes ball 4. Saw 19 pitches his last 2 plate appearances and reaches for the 3rd time in a row. Two on, 2 out, and Barnes at the plate. Oh, 2. Leaves that one up. 1 and 2 on Barnes. 3 straight 2-out base runners against Rutledge. The home run from Kike, single from Muncy, and a walk from Pages. Got him to chase and end the inning. When this one finishes, we've got Access Sportsnet Dodgers to wrap it all up. And Jerry with a comforting message. Dodgers in danger of dropping a 4th out of 5 on this trip after the 8-0 start. Luis Garcia, who they've leaned on early this season, comes on to pitch the bottom of the 8th.
See, this will be his 7th appearance this year. Definitely getting his money's worth.
My browser has 3 Luis Garcia baseball reference pages. I can't decide which one to pick. You got this guy, you got the Nats second baseman, and you got the Nats second baseman's dad. This is the one we want. The 38-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Down the line, long run over there. And 0-2 on Cruz. Garcia spending a lot of his career in Philadelphia. Has pitched in this ballpark a bunch, including his major league debut 12 years ago, July 10th, 2013. Pitched a scoreless inning. My browser didn't even offer the Astros pitcher, Luis Garcia.
When he's on the IL.
That's
right?
true. Google knows. First hitter that Luis Garcia faced as a big leaguer, Bryce Harper, who would have been a rookie at that point.
Had to have been, right?
Mm-hmm. Punch to first, Fiducia feeds Garcia just in time to get Cruz. Kirsten has heard that is Max Muncy's first baseman's glove that Fiducia's using.
He's just down there trying to smother that thing. Keeps it right by his feet. Good job by Garcia getting over there.
One gone in this 8th inning for the 9-hitter, Jacob Young. He hits a big bouncer. Garcia couldn't get it. Muncy Barehand has no chance with the speed of Young. So an infield hit. Young, who came into the game 1 for 15, 2 hits and a walk tonight.
Seen a couple infield hits this evening, right? James Wood had one, and Jacob Young. Pages.
Alex Call takes a strike from Garcia. A debut game for Luis Garcia was in relief of Cliff Lee. He's 35 years of age at that point. Cliff was near the end of his career. You got Harper, Ryan Zimmerman, Jason Worth in that first inning. Right against the heart of the lineup. Go get him. Now in his 13th year. Bouncing ball to Muncy at third. Ogunda second for 1. Hernandez will settle for that. 2 away. 6 of those years in Philadelphia for Luis, and then he's bounced to the Angels, to the Rangers, the Cardinals, a couple of years with the Padres. Last year back to the Angels, and some time with the Red Sox as well.
Is that a lot of up and down, or is that just sticking? I mean, he has
different teams.
Really? So
Yeah.
he's got 10 or 12 years in. I mean, he's got his.
Just looking at.
He's getting that full pension. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I don't want to say that. James West Wings, I don't want to give away something I'm not supposed to. Game totals. There are a few years in there where he has small totals.
Yeah.
14, he had 13 games. In 16, he had 17. one other year, but it was 2020. Nobody had many games. Other than that, it's pretty much full seasons over 13 years. 60 games each of the last 3, 60 plus. That's got to put him among the leaders in all baseball.
Yeah, right. See if you can retire this guy, huh?
And a tall task. James Wood has reached all 4 times, 2 home runs, an infield single, and a walk.
Just do not want to go hard in on him at all.
Sinker dives down to the bottom of the zone, and Hernandez throws Wood out. So Garcia retires Wood like nobody was been able to tonight. 8-2 after 8. World champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Arco. Quality gas for less, now with rewards. 8-2, Nats in front of the 9th inning. Top of the Dodger order. Shohei Ohtani to lead off against Jackson Rutledge. This is one of those that can't end soon enough. Nationals raced out to a 5-0 lead after 2. It was 8-0 after 4. Turn the page to tomorrow.
Well, let's see Shohei get on. Extend that on base streak. Keep that thing going. Duck away from it. Just a high pitch way away.
Four o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, so lunchtime back in LA, 1 o'clock. And they fly back home, welcoming the Cubs for a 3-game series starting on Friday. Ohtani with a base hit to right field, and he does extend that on base. 28 games back to mid-September of last year.
All right, I knew there was a reason we stayed around for this one, right?
How about now?
There we go.
Rojas came off of the bench for Betts and picked up a hit his first time. Floats this one into left field. That's sinking down, but Alex Call comes on and makes his second diving catch of this series.
Matt's playing all 27 outs. He comes running in here, lays out. Nice catch. Again, this is a very athletic ball club.
Fiducia. Otani will take second. No stolen base there. Defensive indifference. Ball and a strike. He'll take third as well. Same scoring though. Is there an official rule for how to determine stolen base versus?
Up to the scorekeeper.
Feels like there'd be a fair amount of gray area there.
Well, I mean, I think what you take into account the score, and you take into account they holding him on, making any effort to prevent him from running. Again, all subjective.
Yeah.
I mean, he does that at home. He might have 2 more stolen bases, right? You can make that argument. 6-run ball game.
Fiducia takes the walk. A couple base runners for the Dodgers in this 9th inning. They've had 5 base runners in 2 innings against Rutledge. And Chris Taylor, who got his first hit of the year last night, climbs in there, 2 on and 1 out.
Dodgers 8 hits, 5 walks, but only 2 runs this evening.
Yeah, they've had traffic in, see, all but 1 inning in this game, but have really struggled once they've gotten guys on.
Certainly a trip the pitching coach did not expect to make. We talked about it. The Nationals bullpen had just been spent. Finnegan, their closer, had gone 3 in a row. I mean, they were running on fumes down there.
Bullpen started to move though. Strike on Taylor. It's a good night for them to have this kind of cushion when you're looking at, like you said, Finnegan not going to pitch. Sims and Salazar both thrown 3 of the last 4 games. Ferrer's getting ready. I'd much prefer to not have to use him. Oh, 2 to Taylor. It's chopped foul. Not too far from where he grew up. Virginia native. And former Virginia Cavalier. Got a chase and 2 out. So Conforto to the plate. Drew a walk his first time, but 0 for 3 since then. Fiducia will take second, although it's fouled off, so he'll head back. Nationals going to get their 4th consecutive win and draw to within a game of 500.
Beating up on that National League West, right?
Yeah, I got this started against Arizona. Producer this time will take it. And it's 0-2 on Conforto. A couple ducks on the pond there. Chance to drive in a pair. 5 runs batted in this season for Michael. That's the ball game. Nationals all over the Dodgers, and they've taken this series.
That man right there, James Wood, really the story for this ball game. Couple of home runs, jumped early on Robleski, and the Dodgers just never able to answer. Well, you can finish it off with a win tomorrow and have a good flight home.
As Knack makes his first start of the season, Dodgers and Nationals wrap up this series 1 o'clock LA time. For Eric Karros, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from DC, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.